Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to PitBullTax office hours. My name is Irina Bobrova, and I'm here with my colleagues, William Beiswenger, our Director of Sales, and Adrian Orozco, our Director for AI Intelligence. Did I say it correctly, Adrian?
Engineering and AI.
Okay, yeah. Director of Engineering and AI with PitBullTax. Okay, I didn't expect many of you join us today because we are in the middle of the very hot tax season. It's April 2nd. But this session is being recorded. So for those of you who missed your questions, you can see the recording that will be sent right after. And you will be able to listen to your question and answer. Okay. Let's start with questions. First question is from Yolanda Johnson. I don't think she's here. So this is a question. When will the email function in Pitbull be available for customers with Google provided email addresses? My email address isn't a Gmail address. It's info@tpstaxrelief.com, and I still cannot use it with Pitbull. And I think it's repeating the same thing. I'll ask Adrian to answer this question, please.
Okay. Yes, that is a very important question because we always recommend for everyone to add Pitbull Tax as a trusted domain to your domain. So it recognizes all of the email notifications that you send through the software uh, automatically. And most importantly, land you in the inbox. For this question, Yolanda says that she uses Google Workspace, which is Google's version of work email. And when you have Google Workspace, it is possible for us to give you some keys that you need to add to your DNS. I know this is tech lingo. The main action point I want to tell everyone is that if you have Workspace, Google Workspace, and you use Gmail to read your emails, you can connect it to Pitbull. All you have to do, and what I recommend you to do, is to go to Pitbull and submit a support ticket. Make the new ticket, make sure that in the department you send it to technical support, and in the subject, just write, I need help to connect my domain. And then in the message, say hi to me and give me the domain that you want to connect, and I'll get in touch with you personally. And most importantly, I'll get in touch with your IT guy, and together we'll be able to add the keys. The technical term is called DMARC validation, but the main result is that your emails will go to the inbox when you use Pitbull. So for Yolanda, this is what I recommend. And for everyone else that is using Google Workspace, this is the workflow we need to follow. So that's a great question. And it's something we do support, but we do it always on a one-on-one basis because, well, I need to collaborate with your team to get this solved for you. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Adrian. And are there any steps instead of contacting us via ticket? Can they do it themselves?
In this case, it's us, the programmers, we need to make your personal key, and I need to know your domain name first to be able to
Mhm.
give it to you. So it's always kind of like a one-on-one interaction.
Okay, perfect. So yes, contact Adrian, submit support ticket, and choose technical support. Perfect. Thank you, Adrian. Next question is from Sharon Morgan. Not sure Sharon is here. So she actually has three questions. First one is this. Missing a client source. Under clients, client source drop-down menu, there used to be a tab called Other, and it is no longer there. Why this is important? When I save a new client, I would put client source as Other, specify, and enter in the referring name there, and was always able to sort that way, and now that option is gone. Can you put Other back in the drop-down menu for sorting purposes? So I'm going to answer this question. This option is still there. It's probably something that I need to show you how to do. So I'm going to share my screen. And what you need to do, you need to actually go to settings and select general settings. Under general settings, we have option for client sources. It is referral, newspaper ad, radio commercial, so on, so on. So in order to see other, you just need to add this category of sources right here. So add a source and name it exactly as it shows in the drop-down menu. Other, specify. Do not just name other. Name it other, specify, and click save. So after this, if we go to client list, and in the client source, we choose other specify, we will see all our clients with that particular client source. So it can be a friend, walk in, or if you put a name of the client who referred them. So this is an option. You just need to add it under your client source in the settings. Okay.
Yeah, Irina, I think she means when you select the client source, other specify, and then it opens up the extra field where you type in other, like what you're specifying.
Yeah, and that's exactly here. So in that field, for example, you type friend or walk-in or whatever, and these are all clients with that additional category.
Couldn't she also just restore the defaults? Click that button to bring it back if it's
No, that default list doesn't have other specify.
Okay.
Default list has only that category. But if you add additional category under client sources other specify, you will be able to sort it that way. The second question from Sharon Morgan is, I have been receiving notifications in triplicate or even more. One client, I received 7 of the same notice, which is really creating a lot more notices to sort through. For example, I received 7 941 notices for the same payment. And see example, there is a change on your client's account. And she put like federal tax deposit for 941. So how to resolve receiving multiple notices? We actually already resolved this issue. I noticed it myself last week sometimes and immediately reported to programmers, and we have rectified this issue. So no more duplicates. I'm sorry that happened, Sharon, but this was a bug and it's already resolved. The third question from Sharon is, we receive a notice when the 941 tax is paid. Is there a way to get notified when a payment is not made? We do this manually now. Unfortunately, this is not an option because all these notifications come from changes in your client's account transcripts, and non-payment is not, unless they made a payment and it bounced. So bounce payments are new notifications that you can see. So if they submitted, they sent a check or made an EFTPS and that payment bounced, the IRS is going to post that dishonored payment, and plus they're gonna put another record that there is a fee for dishonored payment. So unfortunately, no, we cannot notify you when the client does not make a payment. Next question is from Edward Moore. Edward asks, what's a good strategy to collect contingency fees for first-time abatement requests when you don't trust that the client will pay you after the fact? Great question, Ed. And this is what I usually do. So if we do penalty abatement for clients that we know and trust, we do their tax prep for years, and we know that their payment history is really good, we do contingency basis without asking anything in advance. So if penalty is abated, then we invoice them and they pay. But for clients who come for the first time to the office and I do not have any history with them, so have no idea if they pay or not, even if it's a small amount, what we do in that case, we do charge them a retainer. If I think that I will abate 10,000 in penalties and I charge 20%, so 2,000 contingency fee will be charged upfront. In the engagement letter, I would specify that if the amount is slightly more, the fee will change. So we will invoice you for higher amount because usually we abate not only penalties but interest accrued on that penalty. And that is amount that is hard to foresee because it will happen in the future. Interest accrues all the time. So in that case, I would recommend you take advance, take a retainer for the amount of potential abatement. And in that case, fees, not amount of potential abatement. In that case, you will protect yourself. Do not do the service unless they say, no, we're not going to pay you because we're not sure if you will pay us back. Well, clearly state in the engagement letter, in the event we do not succeed with penalty abatement, we'll refund you your retainer in full. Maybe you can reserve your right to retain some money for filing 2848, whatever it is, but the rest will be refunded. Next question is from Luis, Hartford. Luis, I see you here. Thank you. So Luis says, I created a template for my tax prep engagement letter by copying and editing the PBT engagement letter. The title reads engagement letter. Is there a way to change the title on my new one? Absolutely, there is a way. So I think I'm still sharing my screen. Let's go to settings and we are going to go to customizable letters. Whenever you change engagement letter template, hours, or you create new ones, there is always a way to change template name. So template name is what's gonna be your title. So you can put EL, tax prep, engagement letter, tax preparation, or whatever it is. Template name is what guides the title. So template name you can enter in the top here on the top, and same field is on the bottom, template name. So just click save and you will see a new title for your letter. Just edit and change template name. Okay? Okay.
Marina, can I ask a follow-up
Sure.
on that?
Mhm.
Is there, okay, so I saw that part. Is there a way to make it so when you actually print the letter, the title on there changes? I didn't see that.
That's what it is you're asking. Okay, so nope, that will be not the way to change. So unfortunately right now it's only engagement letter. If that is what you need to change the title, we may add additional field for the title change, and that will be able to.
There's my wish list.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Wish list taken. Okay. Next question is from Christopher Jones. Not sure if Christopher is here. This is his question. My trucking client received a letter audit last year and responded by uploading the requested documentation for their fuel receipts. The first IRS response was just received and is this letter 3219, stating that the client owes the full amount originally found in the letter audit. which removed all of their fuel deductions. As an owner-operator trucker, this is hard to understand. As a first step, I was going to call the number and ask to speak with a tax examiner to get more details on the case. I want to confirm they received the uploaded response and understand what happened afterward. What do you recommend? So, this is my recommendation. First thing first, letter 3219 is not yet the assessment. Letter 3219 is your 90 days letter. That allows you to submit tax court petition. So make sure, first thing, before doing anything else, that you do submit a tax court petition. Even if you are not an attorney, and even if you are not USTCP, United States Tax Court Practitioner, you can submit tax court petition on a pro se basis. Basically, your client will sign it. And this needs to be done within 90 days from receipt of that letter. In that letter, you will have a deadline. You will see when exactly is a deadline. So I just saw Christopher is just joined, so I admitted him. So Christopher, we are addressing your questions right now, and I'm going to reiterate a little bit, go back. So the first thing you need to do is you need to file tax court petition within 90 days of the receipt of that 3219 letter to protect your client's interest. I'm not sure if you're an attorney or USTCP. Even if you are not, you can still submit it on a pro se basis. Your client will sign the petition. And in the petition, it's really simple. I'm not sure how much they charge right now. I think before it was $60 fee. But you outline that your client submitted all the records requested on that day, and it was uploaded to IRS portal, and attach again all the receipts. But make sure that they're organized properly. So receipts should be sorted in the correct order. Maybe even create Excel spreadsheet so that they sum up all the receipts and all the amounts easily, because IRS is not going to do this for you. So the more organized is the better. And the chances are that the case will go to tax court are slim to none. The case will be kicked back to appeals, and this is where you can represent them. Appeals can still talk to you even if you're not attorney or USTCP. So this is the first thing I will do. You can absolutely contact tax examiner. Well, good luck with that if they answer the phones. And ask them what happened, the details. Did you receive the uploaded documents that we sent last year? Why you didn't take that into effect? But even if you contact them, tax examiner cannot stop 3219. That machine is already rolling. So you need to officially submit tax court petition to get back to appeals. And there you will resolve your case, provided that you have substantive documents in hand. I hope that answered your question. Next one is from Robert Forte. Robert asks, how to set up and manage evergreen retainers with PitBull billing? Well, I learned something new yesterday. Evergreen retainers, apparently. It's a slang for retainers in a legal world. So law firms, they call it evergreen retainers. I don't know where evergreen came from. But this is the way to handle it inside of PitBull. So let's say you're creating invoice. You will create a one line for retainer. And retainer for whatever case, retainer. And let's say retainer is $5,000. You add retainer. And after you save this invoice, you can receive payment, whether it's check, cash, credit card, or so on and so forth. And once you have this invoice done, then to the same invoice you can add all your unbilled items. We have here unbilled items if you use our time tracking feature. So you will see all your unbilled items and you can add them to the invoice. So once unbilled items equal to 5,000 or more, you can delete the retainer and submit payment for additional payment, submit invoice for additional payment to your client. I know it's a kind of workaround, and we're actually working on the billing enhancement that will include ability to just receive payment on an empty invoice without any billable items. So that's how you can do it right now, but later on we will have the option to apply retainers without creating a line on the invoice. Okay, so I think, did I read all the questions? Yes. So now I want to talk to you what's happening in our world, what we're working on in PitBullTax, and what enhancements you're about to see. So I guess everybody heard about the Kwon case, right? So there have been plenty of webinars recently. And if you were so busy with the tax season, you didn't hear about the Kwon. So here's what happened. The recent Kwon versus United States, it was a case with Court of Federal Claims, and it was closed in November of 2025. So the court held that under Internal Revenue Code 7508A, the COVID-19 national emergency suspended federal tax deadlines from January 20, 2020 through July 10 of 2023, meaning taxes were not legally due during that period, and so are penalties and interest assessed for failure to pay or failure to file. They may lack statutory authority. And more importantly, the court also found that refund statutes of limitations were suspended, potentially reopening otherwise time-barred claims. Adding fuel to this, Congress amended 7508A in December of 2025, just 1 month after the Kwon case was resolved. And they clarified and reinforced broad deadlines, suspension during federally declared disasters. So the taxpayer's position is now strengthened. So it is now in the Internal Revenue Code that refund statutes are suspended during federally declared disasters. So for us practitioners, this creates a significant opportunity to review transcripts and pursue abatement or refunds of COVID period penalties and interest across individuals and certain business entities, particularly on high dollar cases. Because remember, penalty abatements are contingency-based cases. And to address the Kwon, we are currently expanding the transcript dashboard to include a new section that is going to be called Kwon Opportunities. This feature will show all your clients who had interest and penalties assessed between January 20, 2020 and July 10 of 2023 that may qualify for abatement or refund on the Kwong decision. And the general deadline for all these opportunities is July 10 of 2026, just 3 years after the emergency ended. But remember, we are not dealing with people who do not owe money to the IRS. We are dealing with clients who have a lot of tax liabilities. So we don't have to care about 6511 refund claims 3 years. That is absolutely not relevant in cases where taxpayer still owes money to the IRS. So that will be a potential abatement. And what we've done also, we are going to break all this down in detail, including strategies and real-world application during upcoming Kwong webinar in partnership with Frost Law that will feature Managing Partner Glenn Frost, Chief Revenue Officer Sadler Graham, and Alyssa Watley, Director at Frost Law. This webinar is planned for April 23rd, so we are going to allow you to finish with your tax season. So April 23rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to send everybody notifications about this upcoming webinar, of course, so that you have chance to register. And watch out for those notifications in the application. We are definitely going to post the webinar. Once it's created, we have a link and you will be able to register. So this is huge. So I'll let you finish with your tax season. And then after that, we have to roll up our sleeves and have to start working on Kwong opportunities. By the time of the webinar, you will have the new section. So I project that it will be well before April 15th that you will see this Kwong section in our transcript dashboard. And you will see opportunities for people who do not owe money. Yes, you will have to hurry up and submit the claim before July 10th of 2026. But for people who owe money, you don't have to worry about the deadlines and you can submit the claims later on. I talked to Glenn Frost and Sadler, and they think that it's not going to be that easy like FTA over the phone. Yes, so we would need to submit 843, granted, and there will be even some pushback because they envision that the IRS is going to appeal Kwong. So let's see. We are going to see all that is going to be unfolded. The future will tell, but right now this is very hot. Another thing that we are currently working, and I am 99% sure that it's going to be released on Monday, next Monday, April 6th. We are going to address the request of many of our customers. We're going to export dashboard data to CSV, Excel. So this is for those customers that ask for it for many months, and we have finally releasing this feature. So you will be able to download all your transcript dashboard data to CSV or Excel spreadsheet and sort it out the way you need it in your practice that you cannot do here. Even though I usually do not need this ability, everything is sortable within PitBullTax, but if you need in Excel, you are going to have this new feature. Adrian, Will, did I miss anything that we are currently working on?
I think that it's near release. That's everything that's near release.
Okay, well,
Looks like Luis
there is
had
more
We
to
have
that,
stuff in the
but I am not going to open my mouth because Jose strictly prohibited me to open mouth about another feature that he is diligently working on. So I'm gonna save my marriage and keep my mouth shut on that.
There was one other one though, Irina.
Yes.
The 28, 48, and 88, 21 defaults, being able to add like 8 representatives to the defaults and then automatically create a second copy.
Yes, exactly. Yes, Will. Thank you so much for reminding me. Yes, 2848. Right now, the defaults have only 4 representative space. So we are expanding this to include more than 4, so that automatically the second and third or fourth copy is created if you add more than 4 representatives in default settings. Very good. Okay, any questions, follow up from
Looks
the
like
audience?
Luis had another question in the
Sure.
chat.
Yeah, Luis, come on.
Okay. So in the DocuSign subscription that's tied to our Pitbull, is there a way to add a text box to it so that if we need the client to like put something in there on like when they're signing like the engagement letter, is there a way to do that, or is that just a whole different subscription thing? I used to be able to do it in my when I had just DocuSign in a previous
If
company.
you want to add a field where they need to enter something,
Right.
give me an example where it will be like
Like for
necessary.
example, on my tax prep engagement letter, I have a space at the bottom for them to be able to put in like other tax returns that they need done, whether they have like a new company or if we need to add the kids. But there's not a way when sending that through the e-signature for them to be able to put that in without
Okay.
having to print it and write it. So that's what I'm thinking.
So you just want a free format text box where they add additional comments to the
Right,
site?
yeah. I didn't know if that was something that just wasn't included with the subscription that
No,
we
no, no.
have with
It's
the
not
agreement
part
we
of
have, or
the subscription. It's just fields that we add. Like we usually add only mandatory fields that clients needs to. Like if there is another field, we can definitely add it. It's just not going to be relevant, for example, to 2848 because if we
Right.
add this, so
Yeah.
only to other letters we will allow to add this. So yeah, I'm going to write this down and yeah, wish list is taken. Thank you, Luis.
Thanks.
Any other questions? I don't see chat. Let me stop sharing. Let me see chat. Nothing in chat. Okay. If there are no more questions, I'll let you go and tackle your 1040s and 1120s. And we're going to see you next month. When is that next month? The first Thursday of the month, which is going to be May 7th. So May 7th. But before that, we're going to have our first beginners workshop, April 29th through May 1st. That reminds me that I didn't talk about another change that we've done for IRS transcript monitoring, which I'm going to cover in detail during our first beginners level, because this is the first workshop where this feature is available. So in the transcript monitoring grid, what we've done, we have separated spouses. Before it was all together, like John Smith and Maria Smith all in one, but we realized that 8821s have to be created for both separately, so we decided to split it. So now spouses will be shown as a separate record. You still have ability to create engagement letter with a fee that is different for your single and head of household or MFS clients. So you can give married filing joint couple a little break on transcript monitoring service. if they sign up both. And that also gives you opportunity to provide service to only one spouse. If the other one says, I don't want to, maybe they don't have any movements on their transcripts, and they don't want to pay for this if they don't need to. So now this option has been separated. So spouses are listed separately in the client hub for the IRS transcript monitoring. But during our first workshop, which I invite everybody to attend, especially those who are members, it's all included, you can attend it. And also, we are negotiating the contract with a hotel for the next year's conference, and members who purchased membership during the last year conference will be invited free of charge to that conference. So 2027, June, beginning of June. I'm not gonna tell more details on that because we are going to blast announcements nonstop once we finalize a contract. I don't want to jinx anything. Hopefully it goes as I plan, but life happens. So if no more questions, we're gonna finish early and go back to your tax season. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, everyone. Be in touch.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.